It's a me, Dr. Dank, and today I'm going to rank the Call of Duty Black Ops zombie maps. This is the second part of the zombie ranking series that I'm making. The first video was about World at War, so please give that a look-see if you haven't. But Black Ops takes the zombies formula introduced in World at War and builds upon it, gameplay-wise and story-wise, albeit the aesthetics aren't as horrifying as in World at War. But that's not a bad thing, as Black Ops goes for a more sci-fi horror than horror, which makes sense. All that sciencey stuff fits well with a game set in the Cold War. And as you will see, I have only included the Black Ops original maps here, so none of the remasters from the Resurrection DLC will be ranked. So today, we will discuss Kino Der Toten, 5, Ascension, Call of the Dead, Shangri-La, and Moon. Also, it is important to note that I'm considering both the original versions of these maps and the remasters, if the map has one. An example of this would be, when I'm talking about Kino Der Toten, I'm considering the time I've spent in Black Ops and Black Ops III playing it. But enough of that, let's get cracking. Coming in at 6th place we have Shangri-La. Now this map takes place in the Himalayas in the 1950s, when the Ultimates crew travels/teleports to the temple here in order for Richtofen to get the focusing stone for his master plan. The Easter egg story involves that process, and also the story of Gary and Brock, two adventurers who keep getting into trouble while exploring the temple, dying each time the day is reset. If I go further into the story, I'll lose track of the video, but the story itself here is good. The layout, maybe not as much. This map is a little tricky to navigate, lots of tight corners and places to easily get trapped in. The new zombie boss types are the Napalm and the Shrieker zombies, and as you can imagine, they are a pain in the ass. When you take them down, they take down all nearby zombies, which you don't get points for, as well as they deal damage to you when they go down. Now, I've done the Easter egg here before, and you need to lead that napalm zombie down a tunnel, who could blow up if you get too close, which is awful. There are monkeys too, but they aren't as bad. All they do is that they take your power-ups, and can change them before you kill them and take them back. And by that I mean, let's say you're about to pick up a double points power-up. The monkey would come and take it, and have it randomly change so that when you kill it, you can get an insta-kill. The pack-a-punch process isn't too bad on solo. I think you just need to stand on the right pressure plate, then you get like 45 seconds to go up the stairs and where the spawn is to pack-a-punch, if I'm pretty sure. The wonder weapon of this game is the Baby Maker, which just shrinks the zombies before you, so you can kick them away as you walk through them. It's whatever. Now don't get me wrong, it's a cool looking map. Nice colors, creepy undead temple zombies and traps. The story of the map introduces the idea of cycles, which is a big motif in the overarching story. And I don't know if this is true or not, but one of the mountains shown in the distance is rumored to have been teleported from Mars. Not sure if that's true, but a neat thing to think about all the same. But gameplay wise, I don't find it as fun as the others. I'm sorry. Coming at 5th place we have, and this was completely not planned, 5. Now, this map is hard. This map is unforgiving. This map is bullshit. But damn if it's not cool. This is the map that comes with the game if you unlock it in the main hub, in which you fight zombies in the Pentagon. Yes sir, you can play as Mayor Quimby, Justin Trudeau, the floaty head guy from Futurama, and Robert McNamara, as an outbreak occurs during the meeting post-Cuban Missile Crisis. There isn't much story past that, which I appreciate. It's all laid out in the intro. There's a lot of creepy things implied here though. Like in the basement lab, you can see how they made Nova 6 gas and the Nova crawlers. And the whole place is messed up and bloody and destroyed. Pretty cool on paper, all of it. But gameplay wise, ooh. Maybe I'm just bad at Black Ops, but Black Ops controls are a lot rougher than in other games. Now I know why. Like play this game, then play World at War, and then play Black Ops 2. You'll feel a difference. Like World at War was not this jerky, you know what I mean? I'm mentioning this because you feel that roughness on this map more than any other. On top of that, this map is claustrophobic as hell. They lifted this map from the campaigns, so it's as if it wasn't originally intended for zombies. Or maybe they just wanted to stick to the layout of the real-life location. Now, I placed it above Shangri-La because the concept alone for the map is cool. And because of the concept being cool, you would want to try to get better and go further and further in the map. More so than Shangri-La. The wonder weapon offered here is the infamous Winter's Howl, which is a big yikes. And that's not all. Instead of Hellhounds, you have the Pentagon Thief. Who is he? Play Black Ops 4 to find out. But this son of a bitch steals your guns. But if you kill him, you get your gun back and a fire sale. And if you don't, you're shit out of luck. But at least the pack-a-punch process is straightforward in this map. You just have to activate all the defcons in order to be able to teleport to the Pack-a-Punch room, which is in the spawn area. But yeah, this map is a bitch and a half to play, but it's so interesting that you're willing to suffer just to get further and get better. Here we are at 4th place with Moon. Now talk about a cool concept, fighting zombies on the moon. I mean, come on, you can't get any better than that. Now this is what I was talking about by sci-fi horror. Here we are in sealed off domes and labs on the moon. We got zombies trying to get us in this claustrophobic area. Moon is meant to be the finale to the Black Ops zombie stories. As to enact the Easter egg, you need to have gotten the items from the other Easter eggs such as in Call of the Dead and Shangri-La. I may be getting spoilery, but the climax of the Easter egg is Richtofen and Samantha switching bodies, making Richtofen the demonic announcer. That's why when you play Black Ops II, you hear his voice and not Samantha's. Speaking of Black Ops II, this map actually takes place in the future that Black Ops II resides in. And if you recall what the maps looked like in Black Ops II, then you know what I'm about to say. The last step is blowing up the Earth, and it's fucking awesome. I highly recommend you guys look up on YouTube the Easter egg, because zombies doesn't get any more exciting than this. A bunch of lore regarding Group 935 is learned. You learn how Samantha came to control the zombies and got into the MPD. In fact, this is the last time you will be able to play as the Ultimus crew until all the way in Black Ops IV. Now, you'll notice I've been talking about the story for quite a bit, and that's because the map is designed around the Easter egg, which doesn't translate perfectly to regular, solo, or casual gameplay. Not to say that isn't fun, but as you plow through, you notice panels and devices that only relate to the Easter egg and not regular gameplay. The excavation tunnels are RNG, so that might hinder your mobility and fun. There's also this big-ass astronaut NPC that trolls you. It takes the name of someone from your friends list and headbutts you to a random location, while hurting you. What an asshole. The spawn area is unique. You aren't in round 1 just yet, and the zombies come chasing after you. The Pack-a-Punch is there, and so is Jug or Speed Cola. Some people choose to train here, rack up points, Pack-a-Punch the Colt, and get Jug before even teleporting to the moon. The wonder weapon offered here is the Zap Gun. Now this thing is cool because it's like a dual-wielded ray gun that you can combine and make the zombies float up and pop. Now, all the Black Ops maps, Sans 5 and Call of the Dead, get remastered in Black Ops 3. This map especially gets quite the visual upgrade. Like, Jesus, look at the upgrade. Look at the detail. Just like in 5, the concept is very cool, and unlike 5, the gameplay is much more fun. Floating around on the moon can be fun. It's like the jetpack stuff in future games, but better. And now for our 3rd place, we have Call of the Dead. Now this was a tough call, and hopefully not too much of a controversial call. Basically, Call of the Dead and my number 2 choice are practically in the same place, but this mostly comes down to Pack-a-Punch. I'll explain why in a second. But both this map and number 2 have the same issues of annoying bosses or boss rounds. And both I have done the Easter egg for, but never mind that. What is Call of the Dead? It is present day. And by present day, I mean 2011. And the late, great George Romero is filming an epic zombie movie with Freddy Krueger, Machete, the Seventh Sister, and Harper from Black Ops II. But wouldn't you know it, a zombie outbreak happens, and these 4 actors have to fight till the end. Now, the zombie outbreak might have something to do with the fact that their filming location is an abandoned Group 935 facility in Siberia. In fact, according to the lore, a lot of the brainwashing and the experiments on the Ultimus crew took place in this facility. There's also a little bit about how the original 4th member was a Mexican named Pablo Marinas, and how he quote-unquote died during the experiments, but more on that in Black Ops 4. But that's why we have Dempsey instead of Pablo Marinas in the Ultimus crew. But speaking of Ultimus, in this map they are mistakenly teleported to Siberia and are stuck in a closet. The Easter egg is you getting them the golden rog and helping them get out of there so Richtofen's ultimate plan can be achieved. Now I delved into the lore quite a bit in this map because you really wouldn't expect it from this scenario, but it truly is a welcome bonus in my opinion. This map kicks ass. Yes, the snow makes it hard to see. Yes, George is an annoyance. May he rest in peace, of course. But the layout and the aesthetics, and yes, even the Easter egg make it stand out to me. The layout of the map is circular in the sense where you could go left or right and keep going and still find your way back to spawn. And you also have the lighthouse and the shipwreck as your iconography. And this is going to sound weird, but this map feels like a toy playset. Hear me out. Like the lighthouse and the ship were smacked together and we are the action figures running through them. Now, I know that's a bizarre take, but I really don't know how else to describe it. Like either a toy playset or a Lego set. You make the call. The aesthetics make you feel cold and shivering, like you're in the middle of a frozen, hellish landscape. The gray metal is all iced over. It's very unwelcoming and unsettling. This is not a place you'd want to be in. And this map is the first Easter egg I've ever done solo. Now, yes, I had God mode on. Even though I play a ton of zombies, I suck ass. But the Easter egg is fun to do, and it's simple. You turn on the power, you get the fuse going, you blow up some red lights, yada yada yada, turn the ship's dial, and then you take a zombie, you shoot him with a railgun, make him human, lead him to the lighthouse, he goes up the light, and in return you get the rod. Overall, this map is truly a gem. When it was being announced that it was being remastered in the Black Ops III Steam Workshop by user Cop for that, I was through the roof. Black Ops 3 on PC is becoming the one-stop shop for all remastered OG zombie maps. Or really just the one-stop shop for zombies overall, but we'll get there in a few videos. But yes, other than that, Call of the Dead, damn fine map. The penultimate map, the number 2, in my ranking is Ascension, the second Easter egg I've ever done solo. Again, very close to Call of the Dead in quality, like neck and neck. Interchangeable even. Now, this map takes place in a Soviet cosmonaut facility in the 60s, the same exact time as when 5 is taking place. Now, the background story is this. There are 2 Russian scientists, Anton Gersh and Yuri Zavoisky. They both work on these rockets for the Russians, while using the remnants of Group 935's research. During this, Samantha comes in just to screw with them. She messes with Yuri's mind and makes him betray Gersh and trap him in the Casimir mechanism. Yuri would then become the Pentagon thief that we see in 5. The Easter egg is this. After Ultimus arrives there from Kino, they are tasked with releasing Gersh from the device. Now, to be perfectly honest, I do believe that Call of the Dead had a better layout. As it was circular, and Ascension feels more linear, more branching. But let's talk about the pack-a-punch on this map. When you spawn in the map, you drop in on a lunar lander, back when it's all black and white. When you turn on the power, not only do you get the color back, but you see a screen in the room where there's an empty outline of a rocket. You go through the map launching 3 landers back to spawn, each one filling up the rocket. Then you go back to the power room. The screen now shows a full rocket on it. You launch the rocket and maybe shoot it down with a ray gun, which is really cool, but you go to where the rocket was launched, and bam, there's Pack-a-Punch. I find this process to be a lot of fun. There are a lot of cool little things in Ascension too. Like I mentioned before, this map starts off in black and white until you get the power going. There are oil puddles that have cool colors, and it really nails the vibe of a constricted, Soviet, grayed out science rocket facility thing. Everything is metal and cement and gray, and you're far the fuck away from civilization. Even without the zombies, you'd still feel like a hopeless cog in the commie machine. However, you can't talk about Ascension without mentioning the biggest sin of this map. The goddamn monkeys. I hate these little bastards with a passion. During a monkey round, a bunch of these furry assholes go to the perk machines of perks that you've already bought. And if they keep going at it long enough, they will remove your perk. And this is horrible when you're playing in solo, because you have to split focus between, Quick Revive and Jug. But in the Black Ops III remaster, they added the Wonder Fizz machine, which lets you get random perks back for less money. Even despite that, this map is still a lot of fun. Like I said, this and Call of the Dead are neck and neck, practically tied for second place. While I like the aesthetics and layout of Call of the Dead more, I like the gameplay and the process of Ascension a hint more. That wavers depending on my mood. So really take these 2 rankings with a grain of salt. Like they really are interchangeable. But coming in at Kino Der Toten, we have first place. Wait, did I say that? I meant to say coming in at Kino Der Toten, we have Kino Der Toten. Yes, sir. Kino Der Toten is my favorite Black Ops I map. And probably my favorite map period, if not for a certain Black Ops II DLC map. Yes, I know Kino is the most overrated zombies map according to the higher-ups of the zombies community. And I agree. It's basically a World at War map in Black Ops 1. But there's a reason for that, by the way, but I'll get into that later. But what can I say? I really dig the simplicity. Before I delve into why this is my favorite, I will announce my bias that this was my first ever zombies map that I played. You never forget your first, folks. I was in middle school when Black Ops I dropped. And I remember going to a friend's house after school and watching him knife the zombies and bore up the windows and the ka-ching, 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 ka-ching sound effect when you bore up the windows, you know what I mean? And this was the same friend who was able to get me to play Call of the Dead on my 360, even though I didn't have the DLC at the time. think he might have hacked something, but never mind that. But Kino stays with me due to its simplicity. As each game comes out, the zombies maps get more and more technical, adding new elements like part building and becoming a ghost or a beast and time travel and all these complicated mechanics. It gets old after a while. And as most of you may know, Kino Der Toten was supposed to be DLC 4 or Map 5 of World at War, but they cancelled the DLC because Modern Warfare 2 was about to come out, and they didn't want people playing World at War when they needed to sell the new one. So they halted this map and they added it to Black Ops I to go along with 5. Past all that, what is the premise of Kino Der Toten? Kino Der Toten, and how many times can I say Kino Der Toten without getting tongue-tied, is a movie theater that was transformed into another Group 935 facility during World War II. It's where they originally made the Nova Crawlers before 5, and where they tried to control the zombies. In Black Ops III, we would learn that Maxis came here and fell in love with a woman here named Sophia, but she got infected by a zombie, and so he had to put her mind in a supercomputer. Yeah, the lore loses all sense of reality come Black Ops 3. But that's all there is. There's no Easter egg, there's not much story. Ultimus is teleported here by accident when they were fighting in Deriz, because the teleporter was overloaded with the Wunderwaffe and they were shot forward in time. So it's the 1960s when they get to Kino. And of course, the story of this map ends when they find a lunar lander off screen and teleport out of there. Or at least that is what we are to assume. But the 1960s vibe does show with the aesthetics of the theater. The theater has this creepy, abandoned vibe to it. Like you and your buddies are trespassing in an old, derelict building, and it's kept the horrors of the war for almost 20 years in broad daylight. I feel it's easy to make things scary at night because you can't see much, but if something is dangerous and scary during the day, then you're screwed because there's no hiding in the light. You have the old classic decor of the theater, and if you look outside, you can see some 1960s cars, and if you no-clip through the map, you can actually see the famous radio tower in Berlin, and even the wall itself. The layout of the map has 2 loops in it. Both lead to the main stage where Jug and Power and the Pack-a-Punch teleporter is. Once you activate the teleporters, you zap to the projector room, and then from there you can teleport to a random room for a few seconds. Could be a Pentagon conference room, could be a CIA torture chamber, could be Samantha's room, or a cursed version of her room. But going back to the main stage area, you can easily train zombies on the stage. Combine that with the Thunder Gun, and it's high round time, boy. When we would play it together, I would fuck with my friends and open the door to the stairs, which messes with the flow of the zombies entirely. My friends, Max, I'm talking about you, would get pissed, and they'd call me the 4-letter words and even some of the 6-letter words, if you know what I mean. I mean, there's not much to say. I mean, I love the layout, I dig the aesthetics. Reminds me of that scene from Inglourious Bastards. And overall, I love the simplicity of this map. I mean, what can I say? I'm a simple guy. And that is the ranking of the Black Ops I zombie maps. Yeah, this game definitely feels like a step forward from the game mode. Very much more developed than the first maps in World at War, which is exactly how they should be. Very cool in varying settings and story. The difficulty can be a bitch and a half though. Something about this game's controls and its unfair hit markers, this really makes it a man's game. Hard as shit, probably the hardest out of all the Treyarch games in my opinion. But in any case, thank you for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying the series because next up are the zombie maps for my favorite Call of Duty, Black Ops II. But until then, I am Dr. Dank.
And thanks for watching. Peace, love, rock and roll.